I am Laurie Strode. Even though Halloween has passed and we are now approaching the end of 2023, heading into 2024, I looked at the characters from Halloween and I looked at Laurie Strode, and I've been watching her for a long time since I was a child. Looking at the way she had to fight for her life, all her life, to try to live a normal life, running from a dysfunctional family, running from a perpetrator of someone of her relative, her sibling, trying to end her life. Her whole life fighting to live a normal life, but this whole time of all 40 years of doing these films, she is telling people, giving people messages that your relatives and the dysfunctionalism that goes on in the family can lead you to things of evil traps, death traps, and even you going to the morgue or the grave. Laurie Strode is a great example of a lot of our lives, especially my life, fighting for my life, all my life, and having to fight off perpetrators such as my siblings or my relatives trying to end my life. So I can definitely relate to Laurie Strode's character because I am Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode was fighting for her life, all her life, trying to live a normal life. And every time she thought about living a normal life and having a relationship with a productive, you know, intimate partner, she always had to worry about her brother coming back to try to find her and hunt her down to end her life. Laurie Strode shows us her strengths and her weaknesses in all Halloween's franchise in the film. She also shows you that every time he comes back, he's getting more disturbed and he's more eager and hunger to end her life. So, how many of you have experienced or witnessed that you've dealt with dysfunctionalism in your family? And I have been the Laurie Strode of my time, and I still feel like I am still being chased by the perpetrators and relatives of my family that want to end my life. See, Halloween is just not a franchise. This is a reality. This is things that people need to understand, the messages in these films. Movies like this give you an insight of what she's saying. Like, listen, even if he's my brother, he might be my brother of mine, but he's trying to end my life, and he's a sociopath who's also a serial killer. Executed numerous of people that tried to get close to Laurie Strode in the whole film. And the whole time, she's trying to save other people's lives, but she was the only one that he wanted to possess was her body, and her soul. Every film, she still comes back and, tries to carry the message. And every time she carries the message, he's on the prowl again, hunting for her, looking for her to end her life. But other victims have been subject to his executions. See, there's a lot of Laurie Strodes going on. A lot of Laurie Strodes and women that are dealing with these type of sociopaths in their lives, dealing with men that want to prey on them and want to end their lives. How many of you understand that you don't have to go outside and you don't have to go into the movie theaters to find a horror movie? There are horror films that exist in the urban cities. Nightmare on Hillsrat Street and Halloween all the time in some people's lively neighborhoods. As you can see, when people walk around with the murdering spirit, they walk in cults and they come in packs. And they work on a victim to prey on. And they work on the victim really, really viciously to end that victim's life. Being the perpetrator, being the stranger that we always knew was coming. See, a lot of people don't think at Halloween is just a movie, but you have to understand Laurie Strode's character is very significant. She shows you, even if you have a dysfunctional, toxic family, to never ever sleep on the sibling, the relatives, or even the close friend. You never know when the stranger who you always thought would always be a stranger that we always knew would always come to try to end your life or even try to sabotage or destroy. So nowadays, people walk around and hide behind the keyboards and they become victims. Or they become the people of the murdering spirit, the cultivators of death, like I said. And they truly believe that they can't be caught or they can't be, found. So you see other people's children are being involved and they are being subject to people, perpetrators preying on them and wanting to end their lives. So how many of you feel like you've been the Laurie Strode? I understand her character very well and I can definitely relate. She's understands where she's at in her life. She knows that her brother is a sociopath. She knows that he wants to end her life. She has no type of barriers above that. She's not going to continue to allow him to get away with it. She's going to make sure before he ends her life, she will take his. And she stand on that. She's a very strong woman in this character. People don't really take the Laurie Strode story seriously, and they don't understand that some of these women have been, subject to a Michael Myers in their life. They've been subject to a predator preying on them, and they became the Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode lives in all of us. You know what I mean? We can be a Laurie Strode at any given day, and there can always be a Michael Myers in your life that wants to end your life, and his whole objective and motive and agenda is to end your life and get rid of you and bring you down to the grave. But the one thing about Laurie Strode, she understood who the enemy was. She didn't care of the fact that this was so supposed to be her brother. She didn't look at him as that anymore. She knew that he was a sociopath, and he wanted to get rid of her, and she wanted to make sure her message was clear. Even though you're hunting me down and you're watching me, and I know you're watching me, I understand the power of a murdering spirit. I understand the art of war. I know you're coming after me, and I know you want me to bring me down to the grave. I know you want my soul. I know that you are functioning under a murdering spirit, and once you get your bare hands around my neck, because Michael Myers always likes to choke. If you watch the films, he's always likes to choke his victims. And once he grabs him by the neck, he can do whatever he wants to do after he starts to choking. And one thing about Laurie Strode, he might have came back to try to, end her life, but she's always coming back for revenge and looking for him to hunt him down, to send the message that I will not be hunted. I will hunt the hunter. Okay, so how many of you understand what Laurie Strode's position is? People can make fun of it and joke about it and laugh, but this is so true. As I look at all of the black girls unlost and all of the horror crimes that goes on in the urban cities and across America, people don't understand that these sociopaths, they're preying on you. You have to be the Laurie Strode of your life. You have to understand there is a Michael Myers might be lingering around watching you, or he might be in a relationship. You might be in a relationship with him, or he might be in your family, or he could be a sibling. You never know. But you have to understand Laurie Strode was a person that she understood that this man was after her, and she was not going to allow him to take her life. So every time that he would follow her, she understood he was getting stronger, that he wasn't going away. He wanted to possess her soul, possess her light, get rid of her fact that her presence, her existence, the fact that she was breathing, it bothered him. Okay? So understand Laurie Strode's life, revisit the movies and the films, understand that she was fighting to have a normal life. All her life, she's fighting to have a normal life. All my life, I am fighting to have a normal life. Getting away from the sociopath, getting away from the psychopaths, getting away from the murdering spirits, getting away from the cultivators of death. Are we able to understand there are Michael Myers in our lives? There is a nightmare on Hood Rat Street in our neighborhoods. There is a Halloween every night in some people's lives, and it could be you. Do you understand that I am Laurie Strode? I could be Laurie Strode one day. I hope not to be, but you never know. You have to prepare. You have to take self-defense classes. You have to go get licensed. You know what I mean? To hold a pistol. You have to understand, some people just won't leave you alone. They will continue to bully and test extreme limits. Laurie Strode was a strong woman in Halloween franchise, and she continues to sends messages through these films, and we have to pay attention to the messages. I am Laurie Strode. Keep coming back, more to be revealed.